Today I'm going to be unboxing this package from Blokees. This should have all of the Marvel characters that they have so far. One thing about me, I've never built a model kit before in my life. Never done Legos, never kissed a girl, so a lot of things I've never done before. But today we're going to cross at least one of those things off of my list. So let's get this package open and see what all we've got inside. Oh baby. All right, so let's start out with these two. They kind of go together. So we've got Wolverine and Deadpool. Love the movie. We'll build those. To go along with them, we've also got Infinity Thor, Infinity Saga Iron Man, and last but definitely not least, Captain America, worthy Captain America with the hammer. We're going to get a good look at America's ass. Here is all of the blockies. We've got Wolverine, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and Deadpool. So let's take a look around the boxes here and see what we are working with. These are all the champion class model kits. So they have different, some are smaller, simpler, some are a little bit bigger, more intricate. I believe this is more of the middle to slightly more complicated grounds. Like I said, that's really good for me because I'm hoping that with being only 90 pieces for Deadpool, that seems very achievable for somebody like me who's never put together a model kit before. What the hell even is that? The challenges of doing this outside. I think they might be making that sound for a little while, so we're going to carry on. Now, I just kind of sorted these into the most to the least. So in terms of pieces, Deadpool has 90 pieces that we're going to be putting together, and then Iron Man has 164, although Iron Man seems like he's got more accessories and blast effects, things like that are probably going to bring his number up higher. So I don't think he's actually going to be as intimidating as I'm thinking. But I am going to start out with the smallest of all of these because, like I said, I've never done a model kit, so start small, and then we're going to get bigger. So, although at the same time, I should probably do Deadpool and then Wolverine because that seems to make the most sense. They're not that much different. Wolverine's only got 101 pieces, so that's only just 11 more pieces. Let's start out with Deadpool. So like I said, we've got 90 pieces, champion class. It says I don't need any brushes, no glue, and no clippers. So easy for me. I don't have any of those things. Back of the box, very expressive. Okay, so we've got little pieces. Looks like chest and head, hands and other items, red pieces. Ooh, is this my instructions? Okay. This is what we need. Okay. And then there's this as well. You've got some weapons in there. Okay. So there's all of the pieces out, plus your instruction manual. Here it is. Got the Little Mermaid bowl. Maybe you've heard of Prince Eric before. So let's put those in there. Don't want to lose pieces in there, you can see. I feel like I should probably grab another bowl. Should I have several bowls? How do you guys build your model kits? Do you have tons of bowls? Do you just lay this all out on the table? You probably lay it all out on the table. Okay, so here's everything out of that bag. We don't have this piece. So we're looking for that piece. Perhaps it's in that. Perhaps I'm going to make a huge mistake, but I feel like I'm just going to open everything. Is that crazy? Let's open this package at least. What do we have in here? Okay, so there's all the parts out of the packaging. So let's see how easy these pop out of here. Oh, not bad. Oh, that was easy. Next. No clippers needed. Looks pretty smooth. Aha, we have a shoulder. This step complete. Kinda, yeah. So I just got sent some of these model kits, so yeah. Put them together? Yep, my first time. Deadpool is all done now. Took me about an hour to complete. I don't think that's too bad for being my first ever model kit that I'm putting together. Overall, very impressed. I'll probably put these all in the light box to do some voiceovers, but they move way better than I was expecting to. You got double joints on the arms, the legs, toe joints even, legs go up real high. You've got multiple points of articulation in the torso, weapons in their holsters on his legs, which are sculpted in, but overall, not too hard to build. So as far as being my very first ever model kit, I think they might have got me. Now I've got more to build, so I'm probably going to do those a little bit quicker. I won't talk about each one of those until I'm finished building them all, but this is my first. So let's see how the rest go. I was a little worried about having to do all the clipping and the gluing that you sometimes have to do for model kits, but Blockies was nice because you just pull the pieces out, twist, poke, punch, whatever. And you get the pieces out, and then they just snap together super easy. You don't need glue, you don't need clippers. So that was nice, especially for my first time doing a model kit. So as far as beginner friendly goes, these were perfect for me. And I will say, I think they hooked me on more Blockies because as easy as they were to put together, it was a lot of fun to do, which caveat, I actually hate doing puzzles. Getting together for Christmas, I will not do puzzles. My wife loves puzzles. She's super good at them. I just have no interest. I don't have the patience for it. But with these, they come with all the instructions, tell you exactly what piece goes with what, so you're not having to guess. So I think that made me feel, like it was a more step-by-step process. And then when I was done, I have the finished character all put together, and there's that sense of accomplishment of finishing it. But the characters also moved way more than I thought they were going to. They all have double jointed arms and legs. They all have toe joints. They even have swappable hands and heads. So that was a pleasant surprise to me because I thought when you're building a model kit, and maybe this is true for some, they're a little more statuesque. But with the Blockies, they were way more posable. They got into super dynamic poses. I think they all have drop down hips too. So you're getting more dynamic poses than you are with some other characters. Now, my favorite was Iron Man. And Iron Man has a little bit of an unfair advantage because he lights up. So his arc reactor, if you shake him, the arc reactor lights up, which lights up through the neck into the eyes. He also comes with a lot of accessories. He's got kind of the, I don't know what you call them, like the wing type things on his back. He's got his kind of sword looking thing, his blaster arm. He's even got the kind of rocket boot effects and the repulsor hand effects. So a lot of things coming with him. He's got 167 pieces, way more than the other ones. So makes sense. And he also comes with a whole flight stand that you put together, which I've never had with anything else I collect that comes with a flight stand. And the flight stand was good and sturdy. And I've had some other flight stands from other brands that tend to, like, you put the figure on and they like fold under the weight of them. This one holds Iron Man up, no problem. I haven't had any problems with them at all. Went together. That was probably the easiest thing out of everything to put together. I will say one thing to keep in mind if you're going to build Iron Man, do a little bit more forward thinking than I did when I was building Iron Man, because if you're going to put him together, you want to put him together how you want him to look on your shelf. You can swap the parts and everything, but swapping the parts, at least for me, I'm not used to doing model kits and everything. Swapping out the arms and the back plate, it takes a little bit more effort than I'm used to doing with swapping. So I was afraid that I was going to break things. Nothing did break. Everything was super strong and sturdy, even as I was putting it together, using a lot of force to do that, and then pulling it apart. Just got to get my big fat fingers in there and pry it open. That's harder for me, but again, I'm not used to model kits. Maybe that's normal. But I would just decide how you want to build him, because I originally put the flat back part in, and then to get that out, I was afraid I was going to snap it. It didn't snap. It went flying across the room, but it all stayed intact. And then I was able to plug in the more wing type pieces. Same with the arm. You'd have to pull the arm apart a little bit to add the other arm on. But just like I said, think about that ahead of time. How do you want him to look on your shelf? And then put him together that way originally. And then if down the line you want to switch him, you can do that. But then you don't have to swap it back after you've built it right away. So I started out building Wolverine and Deadpool, both super easy. They took me about an hour to build each. And then Blocky's slogan is pass on the fun of building. So I went over to my uncle's. He built Thor and I built Iron Man. So I got to share that experience of assembling the model kits with him. He had also never done a model kit in his life. My other uncle had done model kits for cars and things, but this uncle never had. And he's one that got me into collecting a little bit. He was always into superheroes and comic books, so that was super fun to get to share that with him. And then I came back and built Captain America, and again, took us about 2 hours for these two because, like I said, Iron Man has the most pieces, but while we were building, also chatting a little bit, and then we had Deadpool and Wolverine on. So, watching a movie, chatting, took about 2 hours to build. Now you can see with the finished products, they're pretty awesome. And along with everything that you're seeing on the characters, they come with a whole slew of extra things. Like I said, you've got extra hands, extra accessories. For Iron Man comes with the shield effect that I don't have on mine for the display right now because I like the sword and the blaster look. Deadpool also has his swords. He comes with a knife. He also has weapons molded into his kind of like thigh holsters and things. Those don't come out, but he's got the 2 swords and the knife. Wolverine, you've got the unmasked head, alternate hands. Captain America, I will say this with Captain America, that is probably the best use of a clip I've ever seen. Jordan and I have complained several times about Captain America's with those clip shields. We're always worried we're going to put it on and snap it. That happened to us a lot as kids. But this is, as far as what I've used, the best clip for a shield. It's still super snug, but it's a flexible, strong material that will snap on his arm really easily. I don't feel like it's going to break when I put it on there like I do with other shields. So it snaps on there, and then it's still super snug. Like I could shake him around. It's not going to fall off of there. And that's kind of goes with all of the weapon holding hands too. With Captain America, with Mjolnir, I could shake that super hard. It's not going to fall off. Stormbreaker, the lightning, I put that on there. You could shake that as hard as you want to. It never fell off when I was shaking it. So everything goes together really snug, but then the joints still move really smoothly. All the ankles, the knees, the arms, the butterfly joints even. I had no idea originally that blockies would have butterfly joints, but they have crazy movement on the arms. The blockies toe joints are also a lot more sturdy than I've seen with other toe joints. Sometimes it's more of just an aesthetic thing that there's a toe joint, but these toe joints actually felt like I could put weight and it would support the weight of the character. The only issues I would ever run into is when I was trying to rush a little bit, especially the knee joints. I will say to take your time. It seemed like every time I would build the leg, I would get the leg upside down. The hole on the top was whatever it was, smaller or bigger. It needed to be the other thing, so it'd go together really easy on the top part, but then when I go to put the bottom, it wouldn't fit, so I'd have to flip it. But that was really the hardest part of the build process, especially once I got used to kind of reading the instructions and knowing which piece was what. Definitely keep your things organized. I had the trays all laid out, A, B, C, D. Iron Man goes all the way to like, I think he goes all the way to N. So, but everybody else was like A, B, C, D, or like B1, B2. So only a few trays that you had to keep organized. The small pieces for the ankle joints and the wrist joints, things like that, I put in like a small salsa dish. That way those wouldn't roll away and I would lose them. Especially if you're doing this on carpet, those might fall in there. But keep it all organized. It'll go together pretty easily. And like I said, these were the first model kits I've ever done, but Blokees has hooked me. I'm curious to see how their Transformers are. They also have other lines as well that I'm tempted by. So I think I might be a Blokees guy now. So let me know in the comments down below. Are you interested in Blokees? Have you tried Blokees yet? Make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, stay strong.